Ever get that feeling about AI? Like, you're amazed by what it can do, but also kind of worried about the energy it needs.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're digging into today, generative AI, how much power it uses, and how we can make it all a bit more sustainable.
And it's wild, just how much energy we're talking about here.
Yeah, how much are we talking?
Think about the electricity an average American household uses over 30 years.
Okay, that's a lot of time.
Oh, that's roughly the same amount needed to train just one of those top-tier AI models.
Whoa. Okay, now that puts it into perspective. It's a huge amount of energy. And a lot of data centers still rely on fossil fuels, right?
Right.
So that's got to have a massive carbon footprint. So how do we fix this? What can we even do to make AI more sustainable?
Yeah, that's the question everyone's asking. The good news is developers are coming up with some really clever ways to make AI more energy efficient. One of those is called model pruning.
Model pruning, is that like trimming a tree?
Yeah, it's actually a lot like that. Imagine you've got this big oak tree that's gotten totally overgrown. Model pruning is like trimming back the branches and leaves carefully. You're left with the same basic shape, but it's leaner and uses less energy. In AI, we're basically getting rid of computations in the model that aren't really necessary. It just runs more efficiently.
So it's like decluttering, but for AI. Like Marie Kondo for code keeping what's essential.
Exactly.
I love that. Okay, what other AI tricks are up developers' sleeves?
Another interesting one is quantization. This one's a bit technical, but I'll try to keep it simple.
Okay, I'm ready.
Think about compressing an image, like a really high-resolution one. You might lose a tiny, tiny bit of detail.
Right.
But the file size gets way smaller, and it loads so much faster.
Oh, yeah, way faster.
Right. Well, quantization is kind of like that. It's about finding that sweet spot where you can use slightly less precise numbers in the AI's calculations without really impacting its performance.
So we're making it work smarter, not harder.
Exactly. And because the calculations are simpler, it saves a huge amount of energy.
Got it. Okay, so we've covered making the AI itself leaner. What about using AI to make other things more sustainable?
Ah, now you're talking.
Yeah.
That's where things get really interesting. Just imagine AI analyzing a city's entire energy grid in real time, optimizing for renewables like solar and wind.
Wait, are you saying AI could help us get rid of those rolling blackouts?
It could, and help us transition to cleaner energy sources at the same time. Or, picture this, AI giving farmers crazy precision when it comes to things like water and pesticides.
So less waste, more food.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
It's interesting, right? We always talk about AI analyzing data, but it's different when you think about it helping farmers save water or cities use more green energy.
Right.
It makes it way more real. Like AI isn't just this abstract thing. It's something that can actually help us build a more sustainable world.
It really is. And it goes beyond efficiency, too. AI can actually help us understand and solve some of the biggest problems our planet's facing, like climate change.
Yeah, okay, so how does AI fit into that?
Well, it's already being used to create super detailed climate models, for one.
Okay.
These models can handle tons of data. We're talking historical weather patterns, greenhouse gas emissions, everything.
So they can like predict what's going to happen with the climate.
Yeah, and they're getting more accurate all the time. Sea level rise, extreme weather, all of that. And having that heads up is so important for adapting to a changing climate.
Makes sense.
We can use those predictions to protect coastal areas, manage water better, build tougher infrastructure.
So AI is like giving us a warning, helping us get ready for climate change.
Kinda, yeah. But it's not just about reacting. It's also about finding solutions.
Oh.
AI can actually help us figure out the best ways to cut emissions, develop new renewable energy tech, even capture carbon from the air.
Wow. So it can help us fix the problem too.
Exactly. It's a game changer. But
What?
we have to remember, AI isn't inherently good or bad. It's a tool. Like any tool, it could be used in ways that are helpful or harmful.
That's a good point. We've been talking about the amazing potential of AI, but I think it's time we address the elephant in the room, the potential downsides. What are some of the downsides, like for people and the economy, of everyone using AI?
That's such an important question, and it's one we need to keep asking ourselves as AI keeps getting more advanced. One of the biggest concerns, obviously, is jobs.
Right.
As AI gets more sophisticated, it can start to automate jobs that people used to do.
So robots are going to take our jobs. Is it really that dire?
It's not quite that simple. Some jobs will definitely be automated, but it's not like a one-to-one replacement. What we'll probably see is a shift in the types of skills that are needed.
It's less about robots replacing us and more about humans and AI working together.
Exactly. We'll need people who can design, build, and manage these AI systems, but we'll also need people who can work alongside them using uniquely human skills.
Like what?
Creativity, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, things like that.
Things AI can't do.
Right. Think about healthcare. AI can help doctors make diagnoses, but it can't replace the empathy and human connection you need for good patient care.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Same with education.
Uh-huh.
AI can personalize learning, but good teachers do so much more than that. They inspire and mentor their students. And think about art. AI can create art now, but it can't replicate the depth of human emotion and experience that makes art really great.
So AI is pushing us to be more human in a way, to focus on connection, creativity, critical thinking.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. It's both exciting and a little bit intimidating.
Definitely.
And it really highlights how important education and job training are for this AI-powered future. We need to make sure people have the skills they need to succeed in this new world.
Okay, so we've talked about the skills we'll need, but how do we make sure AI is developed and used responsibly? Especially with all this potential impact on jobs, we can't just hope for the best, right?
Right, we got to be proactive. And one of the most important things is to build ethical considerations into AI development right from the start.
So it's more than just making sure AI doesn't turn into like the Terminator or something.
It's bigger than that.
It's about making sure it reflects our values. But how do you actually do that? How do you make AI ethical?
That's the million-dollar question. It's not as easy as just programming in a set of rules. It's way more complicated. For starters, we need to be really careful about the data we use to train AI.
Because if the data's biased, the AI is going to be biased too, right?
Exactly. So it needs to be diverse, representative, free from harmful stereotypes.
Right.
But it goes beyond just the data. We also need to think about how we design AI systems in the first place.
So building in safeguards right from the start?
Yes. Like we can design AI systems to be transparent so we can understand how they make decisions.
Okay.
And we can build in ways to hold them accountable. So if an AI messes up, we can figure out why and fix it.
So explainable, accountable AI. But this sounds like it's about more than just like technical stuff. We need people involved, right?
100%. And not just tech people. We need ethicists, social scientists, philosophers, people from all different backgrounds who can bring different perspectives and values.
So we can have those tough conversations about what we actually want from AI.
Exactly. And this is where it gets really interesting because it's not just up to the tech companies or the government. It's up to all of us.
Okay, so what can I do? What can everyday people do to actually make a difference? It feels like such a big thing.
You could do a lot. You have power as a consumer and as a citizen.
Like what? Give me an example.
Support companies that are developing AI ethically. Demand transparency from them about how their AI works. Stay informed about these issues and talk about them.
So basically, use our voices and our wallets to push for better AI.
Right. And learn as much as you can about it. The more people who understand this stuff, the more we can push for real change.
It's about taking control of this technology, not letting it control us.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it's not just about avoiding the bad stuff. We can use AI to make things better, too. We've talked about some of that, but the possibilities are huge if we're smart about it.
It's about using AI to fix the climate crisis, cure diseases, just make the world a better place.
Yeah.
And then actually doing it.
That's it. That's the future we need to be working towards.
Totally. Well, this deep dive has definitely given me a lot to think about. It's complicated and it's changing so fast. But one thing's for sure, the future of AI isn't set in stone. We're creating it right now.
And the more informed and active we are as individuals and as a society, the better that future will be.
That's a great point to end on. So, listeners, as you go about your day, take a minute to think about AI. What do you want it to look like in your life, in the world? Stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged, because this is our future we're talking about.
I completely agree.
This has been The Deep Dive. We'll see you next time.